Welcome back to Veteran Idiot. I'm Art. This is Scrappy. And if you don't know about Scrappy, Scrappy is a once stolen, previously built to race, now decrepit, needs lots of help. What we're doing with Scrappy here today is we're gonna get you guys what you've wanted for the last couple years, heck, even weeks. I don't know. It's been a long time. But you guys want to know what we're going to do with this thing. And what we're going to do with this thing today is finally rip this engine out and see if it's got any problems. And then we'll make a determination from there whether we're going to build this sucker or throw something else in. And I know nobody wants to hear it, but there's an LS sitting right over there. It's just sitting there. Actually just poking fun at a lot of guys that really don't want that happen. But chances are maybe we can make this motor work, and maybe it'll be a screamer, who knows. But first thing we got to do is take it out so we can take it apart. Let's get ripping on it. So one of the biggest problems about ripping an engine out of one of these is there ain't a whole lot of room right here to get the engine out, and this doesn't come off very easily. And then the other problem is there ain't a whole lot of room underneath either. In fact, there's no room underneath to get a transmission mount and all that other business off. So ripping the engine out of these is a lot easier on a lift, but we don't have a lift, so we're gonna do it on the floor today, and you're gonna struggle with me. You'll probably just be drinking your coffee or whatever, laughing at me while I struggle, but we'll be together in this, I think. All right, let's see how high we can get this thing off the ground to get that transmission disconnected from everything. Oh. This is the workout I didn't want this morning. I'm thinking that I just want to pop the headers off rather than disconnecting them at the collector. Thinking that's what I want to do. Yep. I've pulled one of these before. I threw it in my Ford Ranger, but the car was totaled, so I didn't really care what I did to it. Did a lot of damage to the firewall and everything else. But to be fair, the front end was pushed back pretty far, so I think what we'll do first is drain this radiator. And while that's draining, we'll disconnect the transmission and start pulling these header bolts. Actually, I'm not going to disconnect the transmission. I'm just going to unbolt the mounts. Take the whole thing. Maybe I will disconnect the transmission. I don't know what I'm doing. Jeez. All right, let's do it. Oh, man. This is all brand new coolant because I put in this whole cooling system. So we should be able to put it all right back where we got it. Well, that is not draining very fast at all. What was that? Oh, this is a hood spring. Need to put washers underneath those so they hold them underneath the plunger. Why are you so slow? All right, well, 2.5 years from now, that'll be drained. Let's go underneath, I guess. Actually, I'm gonna disconnect the headers first. Really don't want to get underneath the car, that's the problem. Sometimes you just don't want to crawl under things. Oh, I already can see that some of these bolts are missing. That's neat. Wow, there is 2 header bolts missing on just this side. That's less we gotta take out. So somebody's already helped us get started on this project. Oh my God, this radiator is not even 1/10 of the way drained.
That was a damn rat, man.
Oh, it smells like straight gasoline when you pull these headers off. Interesting. It's running perfect, I'm sure. All right, this whole side's disconnected over here. I'm gonna pull out these spark plugs, then I'm gonna take out those header bolts on that side and bring you guys back up to speed. Boop. You always find weird incidental stuff when you're digging through an engine. And here's one of the incidentals for today. I'm sure there'll be more. One of these guys is not like the others. I don't know if you can figure out which one. Curious. Those are all brand new, so maybe we got a wire that's dead. I never changed the wires. I didn't change the cap either, or the rotor. I scuffed it up, but interesting. Good to know. Definitely wasn't our problem, but sure it wasn't helping. This is definitely odd. Interesting. Be curious when we get this engine out, pull these heads off. Something funky going on here. So here we are, cylinder 1, cylinder 5. Both the two front cylinders, dead holes. Interesting. Might hook up the compression gauge and see what we got, just for funsies. Here we go. See if the batteries are still good in this thing. Ugh. Alrighty then. All right. 149. She's good there. I don't understand that one. Try not to get zapped by a coil. I don't know if you guys have ever been zapped by a coil. It's a hard stopper right there. All right, 149, cylinder 1. Let's go with number 2. Or actually, I'm sorry, this is number 6. What on earth? What happened here? Why aren't we cranking now? Oh, what on earth has happened here? That was weird. Suddenly didn't want to turn over. Let's see what we got now. I pulled the engine back and think I heard the starter drop back, but we'll see. Nothing. The engine turns, but I think something happened somewhere over the rainbow. All right, so no more compression tests. Moving on. All right, all the header bolts are out. Lots of them are gonna need to be replaced, but luckily I was able to get them all out. So now we need to pull this intake manifold off so we can get a good lifting point and lift this sucker out of here. Motor mounts and transmissions mounts still gotta be disconnected, clutch cable as well, but still, we'll get this all set up, get it ready so we can yank her out of there. Hell yeah, bro. Oh. Had to take a soda break. Got most all the accessories off and the water pump. Everything off the front of the engine. Now I need to go underneath, get the motor mounts and the transmission mount. Very curious to see what's going on under this, whether it be head gaskets or something, some weird stuff going on. The pressure in the coolant tank and puking out in spaces that it doesn't need to or shouldn't at all. And the two dead cylinders in the front of the engine. It's something weird stuff going on. And the fact when I went to do the compression test, the starter decided it wasn't gonna work anymore. I think that's just what's going on with this car. I think the deeper we get into it, the more it just wants us to replace everything in the car, which is disheartening. But we'll keep rolling into it, see what we come up with, but it is nearly ready to come out. This close, this close. Oh, come on. All right, I think we're finally ready to start ripping this thing out. Saved myself a lot of headache. And I just disconnected the bell, or unbolted the bell housing. And so we'll take just the engine itself out and we'll mess with the transmission later. I think this is all ready to go, except for the clutch cable still in. All right, almost ready to go. Okay, now I think we're ready. I think. So we got a little bit of a harness hanging on the front there. The rest of it appears to be completely disconnected. Just gotta undo those bolts on the pan to relieve that harness. Headers are clear over here. All right.
It's still in.
No, it's not. Oh, girl. Oh, my God. If anybody's looking for somebody to make a mess, I'm a professional. I know how to make professional messes. Come on, clear the hood. Be a nice guy. That's the problem right there. There's a washer sitting back here that wasn't in anything. The rear main is toast. This clutch, she's dirty. Oh boy, where to go from here? What's this little cable? Oh, oil level. There we go. Well, there she is in all her glory. Now we need to go throw it on the engine stand and start ripping it apart. You can see back here is puking oil. Just look at this RTVs somebody put on this thing. Just puking everywhere. In all the places. All the way across here, it was puking out, mostly here. All back there. Headers weren't leaking, even though half the bolts were missing. Biggest question is why these front two cylinders were missing. All right, I'm gonna run to the store, grab some bolts that'll hold this up and throw it on an engine stand and we'll start getting it tore down. Ugh. All right, let's throw this thing on the engine stand. Abracadabra, alakazam! Oh boy. All right, so what we need to do is drain the oil out of this so I can flip it around and see what kind of business we got. Actually, I'll just go ahead and pull the heads off first. Intake manifold and heads. In case you were wondering, Harbor Freight gloves. I don't know that it's worth how cheap they are. The hands, they're made for like miniature people. It's supposed to be a large. It's tight, 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 tight. Okay, I think we're good now. Nope, there we go. I got rice cooking in the microwave. 3-day beard I don't plan to shave. Oh, yeah. All right, that still looks the same as when I put it on. Kobe. He's trying to tell me how to live my life. He's nasty. Oh, one more. Doesn't come off till you get the last one off. No matter how hard you pull. Ooh, a lot of dust just dropped in there. Good thing I'm taking this apart. I don't know how this thing got so much sand all over it. It's no bueno. Kobe. There is some junk sitting on top up here, but it's not crazy. you know, let's go ahead and crank it over. See if we got any dead lifters or anything in here. I think it's about to rain. Getting windy.
Ah, foreshadowing.
Those are good. Some of these are way too tight. Way, way, way too tight. God, you can't even spin them. Not good. Not good. Wondering if we've... No, because then it would be loose. It's not flat spotted, just way too tight. Those are good. Some of them you can't even turn. They're just cranked. This one feels bent. Well, maybe not. They definitely feel like they got some flat spots in them. Definitely something going on there. Pull them off, mark them, go from there. Holy diver! Rockers don't look bad. Doesn't say a whole hell of a lot, but they don't look bad. Oof. That one's pretty wore down. Well, new rockers. Kind of figured that we were gonna go with new heads and stuff like that anyways, but so I don't know. Yeah, it's focusing pretty well. So see, the groove is way too tight. Wore down the rockers, was digging into the little brass fitting in the top. You got tornadoes coming or something? Batten down the hatches! Well, I can't work in these conditions with desert tornadoes coming and power outages. So anyways, it's pretty messed up. So that's bad news. This cam might be tossed too. I refuse to quit. We're gonna work. Can you all see okay? Good, good. I'm gonna keep going. Hey, what's up? So, power's back on, but while we were waiting, went and grabbed some barbecue and some Blizzard. So here's what we're looking at so far. I'm still gonna dig into the bottom end of this and see where we're at with that, but here's what we got. So, the front cylinders haven't been firing for a while. Lots of oil in there. Doesn't look great. Tell me if you know which one is cylinder number 5. Can you figure it out? How about on here? Can you tell me which one's number 1? So as far as I can tell, it doesn't look like there's a head gasket issue. I can't see anywhere where it's burned through. But I'm curious to find out what is causing this. So I need to get into the bottom of it. There's still cross-hatching in the cylinders, and I don't see any like scarring or anything else like that. Doesn't look like the valves have ever kissed the top of the pistons anywhere, although there's a lot of crud all over them. Still cross-hatching. Doesn't look like there's a huge lip or anything. There is a little bit of a lip, but it's not crazy. But, so some of these lifters, it's kind of hard to tell through this camera, but some of them have been worn in. Like they were way, way too tight, and they've worn flat spots in them. And if we look up here at the push rods, specifically this one here, it's really hard to focus on this, sorry guys. But it's flat spotted. It's kind of like a egg shape almost. Just not great. And there's a bunch of them that way. This one as well is real bad. And this one, it's just kind of hard to see on here, but take my word for it, they're bad. And then when you get to the rockers, when you look at the rockers, they've been worn in, they're just not great. So the top end, toast. The heads weren't great anyway, so it's not like we were going to try and rebuild them or anything else like that. But I still want to know why it's not firing in those front cylinders. Can't reuse the push rods, can't reuse the rockers. It is what it is. Gonna need new lifters, and hopefully the cam isn't wiped out. But we'll dig into the bottom end tomorrow, because right now I got Dairy Queen to eat, and the sun's going down, and the horses are hungry. So we'll see you in the morning. Good morning. We're back. We're back with this thing. So far, it's not good news, but we're gonna keep digging. Hopefully the bottom end is good. Top end, not great. Not great at all. We found that the push rods were all egged, rockers were worn, and the top of the lifters were all worn in. And that's all from over tightening. I still don't know why the number 1, number 5 cylinder we're not firing. Hopefully we can figure that out. Now, I did hear some knocking in the bottom end when I was driving or sitting in idling. I was hoping to chalk that up to a throwout bearing or something with the clutch. But as soon as we pull this pan off, we'll figure that out. First, I'm gonna pull the lifters out and see if I can't get a look at the cam bearings, or not the cam bearings, but the cam itself and the rollers on the lifters. That'll tell us if the cam's still good. Even though we plan to replace it, there's still a thought of like, okay, we don't have to spend money here. That's gonna be okay. I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think there's gonna be some issues, specifically with the first set of lobes on the cam. All right, let's pull this pan off, get to work. Somewhere in the center, but doesn't look like it's ever stopped spinning. Cam might be all right. It might be okay, you know. Ooh, there's some marring on this one. Something metal went through there. This one is really worn. It's worn down pretty well. Let's see if it focuses there. I can see a little piece of metal sitting on top of this. Looks like wire brush or something. Somebody tried to clean the top of the gasket or something with a wire brush and didn't get all the stuff out. Not great, not great. This one's pretty worn too. Yeah. Some marring on that one. Been through some stuff. You can tell they've been over tightened. That one, see if we focus on it, there's a big old scratch right down the whole center of it. These are the kind of things you don't want to find sitting in the top of the valley. This stuff that makes it look like the oil hasn't been changed in 75 years. All this crap. Yep. All right, that's all the lifters. Alrighty then. Grab a flashlight, see what we can see. Kind of hard to tell from the angle. But some of the patterns look all right. Some of them are kind of not great. Either way, I think it's best to err on the side of caution and not put this cam in anything else or reuse it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a subtle reminder of why you're careful with where you put your jack when attempting to jack up your vehicle. Right here is not where you want to jack up your vehicle from. Right in this area. That's not it. That's not where you want to do it. Don't jack up your vehicle from this spot right here. The more you know. All right, so let's go ahead and get this oil pan off and once and for all get an idea if the bottom end of this is bueno or no bueno. The amount of RTV that went into this thing, aggressive. Like the seals are, look, spit right out the side. You can stay. Another reason I'm a big fan of Ford is these oil pan girdles that they put on. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing if you use them properly. If you do this, no, bad. Don't do that. Good, bad. Suckers are tight. They're covered in grease, sand, and RTV. Smell like burnt oil. Like almost like a differential. If you've ever opened up a diff cover or done any gears or anything else like that, 75, 90 burnt oil, bleh, that's what this smells like. Smell-o-vision, in case you were wondering. All right. Jesus. This thing is trash. Any sparklies? Lots of old burnt oil. I don't see any sparkles. That's good. Oh man. Crikey. Try not to have it pop out and snap me in the face. Yum. Yummy. There's a lot of crap in here. See if we got moving connecting rods. Ooh. Can't tell if there's a lot of side to side there or if that's up and down. Pull a couple caps. See what we got. She's nasty though. She is nasty. She's a dirty girl. Dirty, dirty girl. Since the most suspicious cylinders were 1 and 5, let's go ahead and pull one of those caps. See what it looks like. Just what I was afraid of. These bearings are toast. See if we can get her to zoom in on it. They're super duper grooved. You can feel it across, even through these gloves. Feels like rubbing your finger across like an unfinished 2x4. Actual crank itself looks like maybe it can be polished. This, no good. Looks like it overheated at one point or something. Maybe they ran it low on oil, considering how bad it looks with oil change. I would say it's probably low on oil. Bummer, bummer. Well, I guess that answers that. No need to go any further. Can't be too disappointed. Kind of figured it. So I went ahead and pulled off the crank main bearing cap as well, just to see what we got. Doesn't look a whole lot better. It's not too crazy. You can catch your finger a little bit as you go across, but sure, we could probably polish and replace the bearings and it'd be all right, but then we're kind of taking a risk with it. It's just, I don't know. So I think at this point, with what's going on here and how abused this thing has been, I don't know that throwing new bearings at it and spending the money to have it polished or just doing a rinky-dink polish at home is the best way to go. It feels like it has a lot of thrust when I got between the caps. I didn't hook up the dial gauge to it, but it felt like a lot. So I'm not sure how worth it is to keep digging around with this thing. It's time to weigh the options, time to do some more looking, see what I can find. If I can't find any of those 351s or any replacement 5.0s for less than $1,000, it's probably worth, trying to polish this, put bearings in it, and then do all the other stuff we were talking about to this engine. But also, there is an aluminum LS sitting right there, which makes it really hard to not consider doing that. But I really don't want to put it in there because and frankly, that just hurts my soul to even consider doing that. But I can't deny the fact that there's one sitting right in front of me and a dead engine sitting right next to me. So, got some thinking to do. Thanks for watching me tear this thing down. Figured out something. I don't think this was a complete failure on this engine, but I think it was headed down that road. I still don't know why cylinder 1 and 5 were not firing. I'm assuming maybe it's a spark issue, either the cap or the wires that are on it. The wires could be a gajillion years old. I don't know, but thanks for watching. We're going to figure some things out. Throw it down in the comments what you think, if it's salvageable, what you would do in this situation, or what you have done in this similar situation. Whole top ends, toast. Done. Push rods, rockers, the lifters, cylinder heads aren't even worth it. So whole top end, done. Not even gonna worry about it. Let me know in the comments. Again, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit all the social medias. I appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, have fun.